But at one point, I pointed out that how, again, part of this whole transparency, how could you permit this one guy, Andrew Clark, who was a witness or a technician, how could you permit him just to keep working between a meeting where you knew he was going to be fired and he was incompetent, for incompetence, and then, you just let him continue? And he responded, and Fondren testified. He goes, "Well, I had a lot of confidence that he was improving as a technician." I said, "So you had confidence in him from that point on up until the point of the stop work order in January 7th?" And he said, "Yeah." Well, we had a text message that he had sent to another sergeant in the state police, in which he said, "I'm ready for Andrew to be gone. I've lost all trust in him, and there's something fishy in Huron," which is a place that he had been. So, it was like jaw-dropping, because every time he tried to sort of talk his way out of one of those something, he ended up talking his way into another worse trap. It was like, maybe if I can step to the right here, I won't step in that trap. And then he steps into a trap with bamboo, spikes in the bottom of it. It was, so you want to talk big picture and not particulars. The big picture is this, that the state police, not just intoximeters, the state police and intoximeters treated the breath alcohol program unlike a transparent, open book. They gave us a sanitized, sterilized, washed out, cleaned up version when they came to court. And what they knew, and only they knew, was that the technicians were performing poorly. The tests were not being done timely. There were mistakes being made across the board. Sometimes the machines weren't being repaired correctly. They kept a list of bad machines. They kept a list of repeat offenders. They complained constantly about the technicians, but none of us knew that. When we, and Mike and David, I don't know if Fred is still on the phone, but when you guys would ask for records from police departments, we got a little sterile packet of 7 to 30 pages that looked like our clients, like the coffin was nailed shut, that everything was in perfect order. And the fact is that when we actually got into the records and we went through the thousands upon thousands of pages, we exposed that is not the case. They knew the truth, and they knew that these technicians and that the program was not on solid footing. And they still sent these guys out there. And I'm telling you, every time I asked them, I said, "So you were brought in to improve transparency, and here you are." I said, "That's not transparent. That's not transparent. That's the opposite of transparency." At one point, he said, "Well, it may or may not be." And I said, "Well, explain how that would be transparent. Explain how keeping the information to yourself but not telling the general public is transparent." And the prosecutor objected, and the judge said, and the judge was just, that's an easy word to understand. Transparent is not a complicated word for anybody, particularly somebody with this education. So no, I want to hear the answer. And it's a yes or no. What was it, transparent or not? This is the problem. The problem is that they ran they sanitized it, they sterilized it, and then they gave us the sanitized, sterilized product that we had no way to get behind it.
Yeah, what you're saying is there's four different versions of the testing.
Where might we, Brother Neil, Fraser here, where might we get an adverse inference, right? Because when they take the fifth, we get an adverse inference.
Well, we're not there yet. I would say this, that if he pleads the fifth on this issue, I think that his testimony on direct examination would likely be struck, given the case law, and he would not be able to testify as a witness. It's
In
a
other
pretty
words, this
vulnerable
fucking
point.
matter is incredible, not
It's a pretty
credible.
vulnerable point. The point relates to this subject. What, and we haven't gotten to the facts yet, but what happened when subpoenas were coming in for the technicians? What did, with the technicians' names on it, what and how were those handled?